Welcome back, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer, so now let's talk silver. This is one of the most important videos I'll make on my channel, and if I would have seen a video like this when I first started stacking, or even years in, I would have saved myself a lot of money and avoided a lot of mistakes, and I hope that's what this video can bring to you. We're going to be diving into some of the most important stuff when it comes to buying silver that everyone should know before they get into this type of asset. Because remember, anyone can buy silver, anyone can sell silver, but that doesn't mean you're going to do it successfully. People think just because I'm going to invest into something, I'm going to be successful. Well, the truth is, most people lose money investing into silver, yet alone anything. Now, it is the safest investment. That's why it's called safe haven, because at least you're putting your money into something, or your fake money into something that has real value. You're putting fake money into real money, but that doesn't mean that you're still just going to automatically, right, just inevitably get rich, especially if you're in it to get rich. Now, if you're investing into silver to one day sell, then this video is even more important to you. Now, spot price goes up and down. Some coins are worth more than others. We're going to talk about all this stuff and what you need to know, how you need to buy, when you need to buy, what you need to buy, why you need to buy, and where you need to buy from. So this is going to be a very important video. Now, before we jump into this video, I am doing some huge giveaways as we approach 100,000 subscribers. So imagine, instead of having to buy silver, imagine having to pay $20-something for an ounce, or $30-something, or $1,000 for a tube of Eagles and a couple extra ounces. What if you got that tube of Eagles for free? That's the reality over here, folks, and all you have to do is push one button to get that tube of Eagles, or an entire 1 ounce of gold. That's $2,000+. That's what I'm offering you over here. So make sure you subscribe and stay tuned. Click the bell so you won't miss the giveaway entry video, which is coming up in the next week or so. You don't want to miss it, especially when you see what the prizes are that I've already hinted to. And as always, may the luckiest stackers win. Now, right out of the gate, I'm going to tell you the most important tip that I wish I knew when I started, and that I definitely do now, since most of you are going to click off the video before we get into the really good stuff, so might as well say it right now while everyone's still listening. Before I ever buy that ounce that I'm looking at online, that I'm thinking about buying, I think about how I'll be able to sell that ounce. That has helped me avoid a lot of bad purchases, because impulse buying is real. So is panic selling. Now, there's no wrong way to buy silver, but there are wrong ways to sell silver. But just because there's no wrong way to buy doesn't mean you can make bad purchases. There's a lot of scams out there. There's a lot of people ripping you off. There's a lot of times just not understanding the market, or understanding why we invest into silver, is the most dangerous thing. You got to understand the value of a dollar. You have to understand the value of silver. And you have to understand what makes silver valuable. Why my name is Silver Slayer and not Gold Slayer. Why this is called Wall Street Silver and not Wall Street Gold. If you don't know that, then the first sign of red on that price chart is going to make you squirmish, and you're probably going to panic sell. You have to understand what makes silver so valuable. That is the most important thing. What makes silver different than everything else? And if you don't know that, then you're just hopping on the silver hype train because your friend told you so, or everyone's talking about the price going up. As soon as that correction happens, you are in some very dangerous times. Impulse buying and panic selling is the worst. Now, let's talk about some of the types of silver, since we talked about why silver. If you really want to know why silver, then go check out my other videos. I talk about the value of it a lot. Now, silver. When it comes to silver, there's one thing you got to understand. Coin shops and pawn shops are two completely different types of places. If you want to buy in person, which I'm sure a lot of people do, if you want to buy in person, you buy from coin shops, because pawn shops don't go off spot price. You could go to a pawn shop and see these 3 maple leafs. They will offer you $3-4 if you're trying to sell to them. And I'm serious. They don't go off spot price. A coin shop does. Pawn shops and coin shops are two completely different places. You got to know that. And when it comes online, be careful of eBay. There's a lot of fake silver out there. If you want to know if your silver's real, the best way to ensure that is just buy from legitimate dealers. APMEX, Wall Street Silver, APMEX, JM Bullion, SD Bullion, Modern Coin Mart, JM Bullion, Miles Franklin, which I recommend. You know, that's the place where you could build relationships. You know, APMEX, you don't know who's behind the screen filling that order, and if something were to happen with shipping or a problem arises, have fun with customer service. With Miles Franklin, Andy Scheckman's the CEO, which you've seen on my channel or somewhere. He just got interviewed on Kitco News, the most famous person in the precious metal scene. He's the CEO. I do a show with him every single week on my channel. Email me. I'll put you in direct contact with him. It's like buying from your best friend that's the biggest precious metals dealer in the world, which is some of you already do and are friends with him just from simply buying from them. Send an email to send an email to info@milesfranklin.com. Let him know I sent you there. It'll help you out as well, because Andy be like, okay, he's one of them. So regardless, though, buying from legitimate places will definitely put you in that small percentage of people that don't ever have to worry about fake silver ending up in their stack. But if you're someone that buys from coin shows or does auctions or goes to flea markets or buys on eBay, you are pushing you're playing a pretty big risk, because nowadays it's very hard to determine what is real and what is fake. I made a video, which I'll play right now, actually showing you some fake silver that I purposely bought for educational purposes. Check this out. So this is one of my videos that I made titled "Fake Silver is Everywhere, Watch This." Buyer beware, and definitely buyer beware, because you cannot tell today the difference between fake silver and real silver. There are ways to tell once you buy it, but on a screen you're not going to be able to tell since it looks so real. You see that kangaroo I just picked up? See that saltwater croc? See that coin I'm touching, that 1 ounce gold coin? Those are fake. They look almost identical. They look almost identical to real coins. But I'm about to weigh this coin, and you're going to see that it doesn't weigh exactly a troy ounce, which is 31 grams. Fake silver always weighs a little more or a little less, and that's because silver is the most highly conductive metal for thermal conductivity, electricity, light sensitivity, but it's also extremely dense, so it's hard to mimic an exact ounce. You see that eagle I just weighed, which is real, is 31 grams. So another easy way to tell is by weighing it. So before we go on, you got to know that. Weighing your silver, other ways to tell. If you want to watch this video, just watch the video, because there's a lot of different ways to tell. I wanted to show this, though, is just so you understood how real fake silver looks like, because if you don't know that, then you're very, very, very susceptible of getting scammed, because you might see a coin on eBay that says it's real, or maybe the price is really good, and sometimes if it's too good to be true, it really is too good to be true, and you're sitting there saying, oh, that thing looks legit. But if you're a beginner, you don't know what to look for. You don't know the edges or how to tell what toning looks like, or any of that. You don't know any of that if you're new. So watching videos like the one I just posted is very important. And if you watch what I just said earlier, listen to what I just said earlier, buying from legit places, you never have to worry about that. Now, here's one of the most controversial topics, but what should you buy? Well, you got to ask yourself, why are you stacking silver? Not why are you investing into it for the purpose of silver's value, but why are you stacking? Are you stacking because you're a prepper, SHTF, more doomsday apocalyptic? Or are you a coin collector, a hobbyist that's looking to invest into some more expensive stuff? Because that's going to play a huge part. Another question to ask yourself is, when are you going to sell? Are you going to sell in 30 years, 5 years? Are you going to pass it down to your kids and grandkids? That's also going to play a huge part. See, someone, let's say the everyday stacker, that maybe doesn't trust the government but wants to put their money in something as the dollar's collapsing. You're going to want to add weight first. Generic rounds, maybe some kilo bars, maybe some of these kangaroos. Here's a great, first, look at this title, my first silver purchase. That's a great start. You add weight, the kilo bar, bigger bang for your buck. You also got some very low premium kangaroos. Generic, that's not a generic round, that is a coin. See, rounds and coins are different. The generic rounds made from a private mint, not government backed. See those kangaroos, those are actually, that's legal tender, that's money. These are from an actual mint, not Sunshine Mint. It's a government backed mint. It's worth money. Just like an eagle is worth $1. An eagle's worth $1. Maple leafs are worth $5. You could spend them as that. A generic round, you can't spend at the store. Now, when you're determining if you want to buy coins or rounds, I recommend rounds because they are cheaper, but if you could find a coin that's just as cheap, then I would rather go with the coin since it is government-backed legal tender. And a lot of times when you go to sell, people are willing or would rather buy a coin than a round. That's one of the examples I said before. You buy that ounce of silver, think about how you be able to sell it. A coin is more liquid. Liquidity is key. Look at this 100-ounce bar. That might kick, yes, it's a bigger bang for your buck, but that might actually, they might have shot themselves in the foot, because let's say silver does go to $100, $200 an ounce. The person, your customer base or your potential customer base is going to be cut down a lot because you have to find someone who has enough money to buy that, or that very, very expensive bar. Where if you have 100 1-ounce coins, you definitely are going to be able to find, the opportunity there is a lot higher to sell that, instead of looking for one person that has that much money to afford a 100-ounce bar. See, if you had this that equals 100 ounces, it's a lot easier to sell. Got to think about that. I never buy any heavier than a kilo, which is about it's 30 ounces. So, give or take, well, it's 20 something, but regardless, I never go heavier than a kilo bar. Now, let's look at some of this. This is a great example. This is why I love Wall Street silver, because there's so many, there's so much diversity on here. Now, you see some junk silver, constitutional silver. That's another way to go, but like I said, back in the day when I started, that was the way to go since it was so cheap. But nowadays, constitutional silver is extremely expensive, so I wouldn't recommend that for a beginner. See that Mercury dime? That has 10 cents worth of silver in it. That's legal tender. I could spend that at the store. I wouldn't do that because I'd be ripping myself off, but you could. Now, let's look at some other things when it comes to buying. Let me, there's no format to this video. I just basically go off the top of my head. I have been doing this long enough, making daily videos where, I'm not just going to be aimlessly lost. Everything I say has a purpose, but regardless, this is stuff you need to know, not just random stuff. You see this poured bar? It says 5 ounces. This is poured silver. This is a tricky, this is like art. This is a whole separate category that doesn't really go off spot price. A lot of times, yes, you can get the bars at spot price. You can't buy any silver at spot, but over time, they almost become an artistic piece. Even my own silver bars. I have Silver Slayer bars, my personal bars that were made years ago, first and second edition. But those bars are extremely expensive. Even though it's only a 1-ounce bar, it's not sold anything close to a 1-ounce generic round. So if you are looking at this as more of buy what you like, you'll never make a bad purchase, because regardless of what the price does, at least you got something you like. But if you're looking at it from an investment perspective, then you're going to want to stay cheap. But there are advantages, and this is some of the meat and potatoes of this video I was talking about that most people probably have already clicked off the video and not watching this far in. There are some very important advantages to know about buying some higher premium, aka semi-numismatic silver. You want to know? Well, let's dive into it. A generic round is pegged to spot price. It's pegged to spot price. But pandas, kookaburras are not pegged to spot price. There's protection against spot price. Now, theoretically, let's say silver stays $24 for the next 20 years. If all you have are generic rounds, then your stack will have not appreciated a single penny in 20 years because it's at the mercy of what spot price does. Now, we know the spot price will go up, but just say it doesn't, your stack has not appreciated a single penny. But if you have some pandas and kookaburras, regardless of what spot price does, those coins will have double, triple, quadrupled in value. So what my game plan is, and this is what I recommend, and diversity is key in anything, is add a lot of weight, get a lot of generic rounds, get some 5-10 ounce bars, kilo bars, bigger bang for your buck. Just add up as much weight as you can, and then branch off into some other coins that will protect you against spot price. That's the best way to go, right? Some basic bullion, your kangaroos, your Krugerrands, your Philharmonics, your Maples, your Britannias, your Eagles, stuff that's relatively low over spot. Maybe get some bars like this, and then dive into some kookaburras. I don't like colored coins. They're harder to sell. Go into some kookaburras, go into some pandas, some more expensive stuff where the design changes yearly. And yes, why is it called semi-numismatic? Why are these coins more expensive? Well, usually lower premiums. Like pandas only have 8 million per year. Kookaburra is 300 to 500,000. Where eagles are millions, right? Tens of millions. Where other coins, millions and millions. There's a big difference there. Scarcity. But also the design changes yearly. Kookaburra's design changes yearly. Panda's design changes yearly. But look at a Maple, design stays the same. Look at a Britannia, design stays the same. Look at a Krugerrand, design stays the same. Right? Those are the differences. Those are the big differences, because then people want to collect every single year. It's more like a collection. It's like a set or a series, even though it's just a basic Bullion coin. Generic rounds, that's a generic round right there. It's a Buffalo. I have a lot of those. That's a way to go because it's cheaper. You see where I'm getting at, folks? There's a lot of different ways to stack, and you see why. If I wish I would have seen a video like this, because these are mistakes I had to learn over the years. You see how this is a collection of all these movies? These are very risky coins. This is more if you like the movie, or this is stuff that you're never going to sell. Like if you're someone who collects Spider-Man things and you have Spider-Man stuff all in some man cave or whatever, that's what this would be for. But as an investment, these are probably the worst way to go, besides colored coins. Never buy something that's stuck to a movie, because then you have to find a seller that also likes that specific movie and is willing to pay the price, which you probably overpaid for, willing to pay that extremely high price. You have to find another person that has a Spider-Man thing that's a Spider-Man enthusiast. It's just not a good idea, especially when you're looking at liquidity. Stuff you need to know, folks. Stuff you need to know, not just stuff that you should know. If I wanted to go into stuff that you should know, I could go into these plastic flips versus coin capsules. But that's for another video, because this is stuff that everyone needs to know in buying. Now, yes, protection is key. Don't take that the wrong way. See how these coins are in capsules? Or some of these aren't? Well, the coins in capsules, you're going to want to put your kookaburras like this in. But if you have some old Eagles or some generic rounds like that Buffalo I showed earlier, or some bars, you don't need to put those in capsules, because they're sold for the metal content, not for the condition. It's only semi-numismatic or high premium silver where you need to put them in capsules. And if you like these Maples, you can touch those with your bare hands. Now, some people do put them in capsules. That's what, even myself, sometimes I do. I usually just buy full tubes and just don't open the tube. But, whatever you want to do. That kookaburra definitely needs to be in a capsule. But those Eagles don't really need to be, right? But an old Libertad, definitely. A peace dollar, definitely. A Morgan silver dollar, definitely. But those bottom ones, not so much, except for the Libertad. So anyways, yeah, this is all the stuff I think you need to know. Sorry if I rambled a little bit at the end, but there is a lot. I could go on for another 2-3 hours. I'm not even kidding. I could honestly do that, but I just wanted to talk about all the very important stuff first, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like this video. Let me know if you have any other tips that maybe I missed. So I am doing this off the top of my head, so there might be a couple things I missed. Usually, though, I've been doing this long enough to kind of, have a somewhat of a, of a game plan in my head of where I want to go. So, yeah. Anyways, make sure that you subscribe since I am doing my giveaway, and if you want to win some silver like this, make sure that you don't miss it. You definitely don't want to. And may the luckiest stacker win. Your stackers win. If you want to purchase silver, I recommend Miles Franklin. Send an email to info@milesfranklin.com. Let him know that I sent you. Let him know I sent you. Andy Sheckman would love to hear it. Build a relationship with, them. That's a great place to buy. It's like buying from your best friend. Plus, they're one of the only authorized dealers with the U.S. Mint, as everyone else basically got kicked off the list since the U.S. Mint only handles through a few specifically picked out dealers, and Miles Franklin is one of them. So, yeah, anyways, thanks for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.